विड्रॉ कर लिया, तुरंत वापस किया। अगर वो सही थे तो ऐसा क्यों किया? अगर वो ये कह सकते हैं कि एक के साथ एक दारू की बोतल देना दिल्ली के लिए सही था क्या वो ये कह सकते हैं कि जिस तरीके से उन्होंने इस पूरे सेक्टर को प्राइवेटाइज करने की दिशा में काम किया और जो आपका ट्रेडर था उसको आपने उसका जो कमीशन था 5% से उसको 12% कर दिया, उसका मुनाफा बढ़ाया, उस मुनाफे में आपकी शेयरिंग ऐसा पूरी तरीके से दिखाई देती थी, क्या वो गलत है?
Now remember that in the course of the investigation into the alleged Delhi excise policy scam, there was a lot of talk of the South cartel. At the heart of it was K. Kavitha. Now the Delhi court has also discharged K. Kavitha in the case. Essentially, she's been given a clean chit as well. Now similar to Kejriwal, similar to Manish Sisodia, in this case too, the Delhi court has cited lack of evidence. K. Kavitha soon after has slammed the BJP, saying there's been an attempt to muzzle the opposition voice, which has failed. Images are on your screens also of the celebrations that broke out at Kavitha's residence right after the decision came in from the courts that she has in fact been given a clean chit. Remember that Kavitha was among several others of this alleged South cartel who were also jailed, who spent quite a bit of time in jail over these very allegations. I'll bring in Abdul Bashir, who's joining us live from Hyderabad with more details on this. Abdul, you know, we've seen a whole lot of family differences between KCR, KTR and K. Kavitha. But on this, they stand united because even a brother has spoken out saying this was an attempt to target the family, this was an attempt to target the opposition.
Well, yes, absolutely. After spending more than 5.5 months in jail, now K. Kavitha has got a major sigh of relief after the CBI has failed or have refused to file charges against K. Kavitha, is what is being said. Now here K. Kavitha has said this is the major victory for her, as she had been fighting, and major turning points we have seen from her involving her alleged involvement into this particular scam, the cases, and then after that she leaving the party, resigning from her membership of a member of Legislative Council, and then starting her own new party. Everything, just a turning point. We had an exclusive conversation with K. Kavitha where she has said she's now living, every day with that particular time that she spent in jail. Now, who's going to give back these days, these times, the fame that she's lost? The allegations that were made were baseless. That is what she had been arguing. And now, who is going to answer to this is what she said. But at the same time, she said she is, she has a confidence in the judiciary multifold, and this is the truth. The win of justice has prevailed in this particular case, and she believes that this is the point where the justice has been given in her particular case that has been filed against her.
Thanks, Abdul, for joining us with those details. So the South cartel and the allegations that there was a Telangana politician link, that at this point the court has said there's no evidence of, which is why the clean chit has been given. But let's move on now here on Super 6 and get you that big development from Tamil Nadu. Surprises galore really in battleground Tamil Nadu, because you had O. Paneerselvam joining the DMK fold, and this is as unbelievable as it gets, because here's a man who was Jayalalitha's man Friday. Whenever she faced legal troubles, he'd be thrown in as the interim chief minister. He was considered to be an AIADMK man through and through. Today, he joined the DMK, and pictures you'd never thought 10 years ago could happen of OPS shaking hands and greeting Chief Minister M.K. Stalin.
Three-time Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam has joined the DMK. Jayalalitha loyalist has stirred the political waters, openly calling out the AIADMK. He called AIADMK Chief E. Palanisamy a selfish dictator.
மீண்டும் அதிமுக இணைய நீங்க முயற்சி பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. ஆனா எடப்பாடி கே பழனிசாமி ஆகவும் ஆகட்டும், பாஜகவும் ஆகட்டும், அவங்க உங்களுக்கு இடம் கொடுக்கவில்லை என்று கோரிக்கை ஒன்று வந்துவிட்டது.
ஜனநாயகத்தில் ஒரு அரசியல் நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற திரு பழனிசாமி ஆணவ போக்கோடு சர்வாதிகார தன்மையோடு நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்.
சார், தர்மம் வெல்லணும்னு நீங்க எதிர்பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தீங்க. ஜெயலலிதா அம்மா மறைந்த பிறகும் நீங்க தர்ம யுத்தத்துக்காக நீங்க போட்டி செஞ்சீங்க. இப்ப தர்மம் வெல்லும்னு எதிர்பார்க்கறீங்களா?
இன்றைக்கு நிலையில் நான் நல்ல முடிவை, சிறந்த முடிவை ஏற்படுத்தியிருக்கிறேன். திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகம் தான் சிறப்பாக ஆட்சியிலும் கட்சியும் நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற நிலை இருக்கிறது. அதனால் தளபதி அவர்களுக்கு என்னுடைய
தர்மம் வெல்லும் சார். தர்மம் வெல்லுமா?
எதுக்கு தர்மம் இல்லை? வாங்க.
Amma's valid every cadre's hard work in the party. But now it's not happening because of that only one person's, how we can say, individual decision. But it's not good for the party. Now the AIADMK is not a real AIADMK what Prachitalar, MJR and Amma found it.
OPS was warmly welcomed by MK Stalin's party, which described the political fight in the state as the battle between Tamil Nadu and the fascist BJP.
He was the choice of Jayalalitha, but EPS had sidelined him. He did not give respect to him. He had manipulated his position as Chief Minister. When he is in AIADMK, it was a fight between DMK and AIADMK. But still, what EPS is, he had fallen at the feet of BJP.
Calling the DMK-led alliance opportunistic, the NDA labelled OPS as ungrateful and warned the DMK he might jump ship again.
மதிப்புக்குரிய அண்ணன் ஓபிஎஸ் அவர்கள் புரட்சித் தலைவர் அம்மாவிடம் மிக மிக நம்பிக்கையாக இருந்தவர், புரட்சித் தலைவருடைய ரசிகராக இருந்தவர், முதலமைச்சராக பணியாற்றியவர், அமைச்சராக பல ஆண்டு காலம் பணியாற்றியவர். இன்று அவர் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தில் தன்னை இணைத்திருக்கிறார். அது அவருடைய சொந்த விருப்பம். இல்லை, அது அவருடைய சொந்த விருப்பம். அது நம்ம அது ஒன்றும் சொல்ல முடியாது. அவருடைய தனி மனிதனுடைய உரிமை அது. ஒரு காலத்தில் தலைவருடைய அம்மாவோடய இருந்திருக்காரு, இன்றைக்கி ஒரு தலைமையை ஏற்று போகிறாரு. நான் அவருடைய சொந்த விருப்பம். அதை பற்றி நம்ம கமெண்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒன்றும் இல்லை.
Jayalalitha's former aide Sasikala said OPS shift to the DMK was a mistake and extremely unfortunate. For now, the DMK enjoys an early advantage ahead of the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls. With Apurva, Pramod Madhav and Anaga Keshav, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, joining me on this broadcast is Apsara Reddy, spokesperson of the AIADMK. We've got Mr. Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, and Selam Dharnidharan, DMK spokesperson. Thank you all for your time. Apsara Reddy, I'd like to begin with you. I know the AIADMK will say that OPS is a nobody. He didn't enjoy any sort of electoral wins or any clout. But the reality is that this is bad optics, Apsara Reddy, that you have someone who was so close, who was essentially Jayalalitha's man Friday, now in the DMK.
I don't know about the optics, Akshita, but I think people in AIADMK, the cadres and the 2.5 crore members of the AIADMK are under the leadership of Mr. Edappadi Palanichami wanted Mr. OPS out. Even when he was expelled, there was no protest, there was no resistance. People saw him for what he was. He was constantly aligning himself with the Chief Minister's son-in-law at cricket matches. His son, O.P. Ravindranath, was meeting the Chief Minister, praising the Chief Minister. When the arch rival of AIADMK is DMK, and when Amma was alive, and even under Mr. Edappadi sir's government, we would never kind of have even any dealings with the DMK, but OPS was openly in bed with the DMK, so to speak. So I think the people of the AIADMK, the cadres of AIADMK, the leaders of AIADMK are firmly with Mr. Edappadi Palanichami, and OPS is an expelled leader. Now that he's joined the DMK is unfortunate because it's betrayal of the highest order. He was 3-time Chief Minister because of AIADMK. His rise in many ways is because of the AIADMK, and aligning with a party which literally compromised the dignity of Madam Jayalalitha in the assembly. Madam Jayalalitha was attacked on the floor of the assembly. In her own words, her sari was pulled at, her hair was pulled out, people hit her with mics and books. The same party which literally harassed and violated Madam's dignity, OPS, who calls Jayalalitha Madam Amma, has gone aligned with the evil force called DMK. It's out there for people to see.
No, he arrived. I'll just highlight that he also arrived at the venue at the DMK headquarters this morning in a car with Jayalalitha's photo. So that's the messaging that he's trying to send out, that his loyalty per se to Jayalalitha hasn't shifted. But Apsara Reddy, beyond really what the cadre feel, there's an election coming up. There's an election coming up, Apsara Reddy, and election-wise, if you look at it electorally, in South Tamil Nadu, you can't deny the fact that this is cutting votes essentially. OPS on one side, Sasikala on one side.
OPS doesn't have any clout electorally. He doesn't have cadre to work for him. To work for an election, you need people, at least in your constituency where you've been multiple times chief minister, to have stood by you. There are no loyalists of OPS. Everybody is frittered away, including his own constituency. He was not able to, sustain any momentum there. I don't think OPS will cause a dent to the AIADMK. I think he'll be a liability to the DMK. If it were, I don't think OPS is considered a serious political force in Tamil Nadu. He's a spent force.
Okay, Dharan, your opening remarks on the fact that OPS is now with the DMK. You know, it was clear that you consider this a big bang entry, which is why the Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister, all of them were there to welcome Selvam. But realistically speaking, Dharan, what really is his contribution to the DMK, considering that he's not really enjoyed any electoral win even in 2024?
But no one in the other camp won the elections in 2024, but he still managed to get about some 20-odd percentage, significantly higher percentage than the average vote share of the bloc in which he contested, the NDA bloc, which means to show that he has a drastic support in that region. And politics is also about perception. And in perception matter, there is a clear perception. DMK, which is ADMK, has now joined us. OPS integral part of ADMK and stood with NDA in 24, 21 with the ADMK, now with us. Again, perception shift. PMK, which was with the NDA, ADMK, now split into two. Other faction might join us or somebody else or stand alone. We don't know. So, which means perception-wise, our allies have gone stronger, and ADMK's allies have deserted them. When do allies desert? When they realize that electorally there is no winning possible. That's when they desert, and that's what is happening. And more so, OPS has categorically said that this government is the only government that gives Dravidian model of governance. The ADMK and DMK, to begin with, merely had the same ideology because ADMK is an offshoot of the DMK party. But the fact that OPS has joined it and several other leaders from ADMK joining it means that the ideology of ADMK is now not there anymore.
No, but it's also a contradiction for you that you have an OPS entering your party with Jayalalitha's photo in hand.
Oh, how does it matter? And I'll tell you, when DMK split, half the people from DMK went and joined ADMK. So ideologically, both parties were the same. Of course, we gave better governance. We stood for many other things which they should have stood. But now the whole point we have to look into is the entire ideology of Anna or the DMK or ADMK has been obliterated under Edappadi Palniswamy. There is no ideology left. It appears like let's say like a B team, or rather franchise of the BJP party. Not the franchise is like an offshoot of the BJP party. That's how ADMK is being operated, and the way people are deserting the ADMK. And again, we have to remember, Edappadi was not chosen by the cadres. He was appointed, and we know how he was appointed before Sasigara had gone to jail.
Apsara Reddy, your response, because this is exactly what happens. You've handed it over to a plateau on the DMK where they can say perception matters, and OPS has ditched AIADMK because they no longer believe or stand for what Amma's AIADMK stood for.
See, it shows the desperation of the DMK, the way they're collecting allies. OPS's own supporter, there was a lady who gave an interview to multiple channels today, who said that he was upset and he was tearing up even till last minute, that he had no place and AIADMK cadre were not accepting him. He's been discarded from AIADMK, and Stalin is collecting those discarded from AIADMK, number one. Number two, when he talks about alliance, I don't think the DMK is in any position to talk about alliance when the biggest ally, Congress, is coming out and making drastic statements against Stalin's leadership and the way they treat their alliance partners. And also in terms of the nominated chief minister, I strongly condemn this, that Mr. Edappadi Palniswamy was the chief minister of the state for 4.5 years. When you talk about nominations, let's talk about the dynasty of the DMK. How did Mr. Stalin make it to power? How did Mr. Udayanidhi make it to power? And their own ministers are now calling for invalidity. That is called nomination. That is called preferential treatment. Not how the AIADMK leaders risen from a simple farmer's background to the seat of the chief minister. Edappadi Palniswamy's journey has been that of a hard-working, loyal AIADMK cadre.
No, but can I also highlight here, Apsara Reddy, will you concede that there were attempts made to bring OPS onto the NDA bloc? Because we had statements from the BJP. We had statements from the BJP suggesting there were attempts.
Mr. OPS has tried to enter the AIADMK through various routes, but his whole loyalty has never been with the AIADMK. The way he behaved when the General Council meeting was supposed to happen, he broke open the office, his supporters stole documents which were later returned by the police. rightfully to the AIADMK office. A lot of things that Mr. OPS has done has gone against the very grain of the AIADMK and the very fabric of AIADMK. So people in the AIADMK, the cadres, the district level secretaries, or even the absolute booth level cadre are not willing to accept him as a leader. And Mr. Edappadi Palanisammy is only reflecting the mood of the cadre and the people of Tamil Nadu.
Dharnidharan, is this ultimately, the AIADMK says, a last resort for OPS, that he didn't have a choice but to go ahead and join your party? So you can claim that, look, this is a victory, optics-wise, 100%. Electorally, we'll have to see maybe in a month from now what happens. But is this ultimately OPS running to the DMK with no other option? Because like you said, ideologically, there isn't much of a difference.
I wouldn't say, because NDA was trying their level best. Rather, even the BJP was trying their level best to bring OPS, and he was not interested for that matter. Even TTV, earlier EPS was not inclined to include him, but after pressure from the BJP, he has to be included. Which means that OPS also, if he is willing to be, if he was willing to join the NDA,
no, that is not
they would have
factual.
happily taken him. No, let me not be interrupted.
That is
So
not
they would have
factual.
definitely be taken in. Same thing with
Mr.
Sasikala
OPS
also.
has given an interview. Mr. OPS has given an interview saying, I would urge the BJP and Mr. TTV and Mr. Edappadi to please take me back. It was all over the press. I don't think...
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Dharnidharan.
It was 2 weeks ago. I don't think you're factually correct there.
No. I think if he can say whatever he wants to. If a TTV could be taken in, why not OPS? So the fact that TTV...
That is the call of the AIADMK, not for DMK to decide that. Now that you've taken him, you have to suffer him.
No, we don't have to suffer him. He's a good person. I think he will do good for the party. Why should we suffer him? It depends on the people to decide. No, I think he has support of the people. He electorally is very strong in South Tamil Nadu. He has a great support from the Deva community, and I think that will continue. But I can't.
Sure.
I don't like to be interrupted, Akshita. But the whole point.
Sure. I'm not...
Go ahead.
Because I'm outside and I can't be loud. So the whole point is very simple. This politics is perception, and BJP wanted to build that perception. If OPS was willing to join, they would have taken him, including Sasikala, including even the other faction of PMK. The whole point is they're not willing to join because they know that they're going to lose.
So Jayalalitha photo in hand, MGR tattoo in arm, none of that matters, Dharnidharan.
But the whole point here is broadly the simple fact that the ADMK has deviated from Jayalalitha and MGR's ADMK. It's a point which many senior leaders are saying. It's not just OPS. Even Sengotian went to TVK. Many senior leaders who ideologically came have left the ADMK, and many senior leaders who are still a part of ADMK are not happy with how the party is being run. They have told me in privacy, which I don't want to disclose the names now. The whole point is, the problem is that the ideology of Anna or MGR or Jayalalitha is not followed in ADMK. The biggest problem now for them. That's something you have to do.
Okay.
That is why ADMK is losing elections badly, 2019, 2021, 2024. In fact,
give me a chance to
ADMK has
respond.
never done this bad.
Yeah.
No, anyways, I'm going to be leaving now, so I think you can...
Yeah.
respond.
Okay, Dharnidharan has a flight to catch. So, Dharnidharan, we'll let you go. Thank you. But
I think
Apsara
the
Reddy,
public-
quickly respond, and then I'll bring in Mr. Shekhar.
No, I mean, he's talking about people within AIADMK being upset about the AIADMK leadership. What about their own former finance minister, who said the son-in-law of the chief minister and the son of the chief minister have 30,000 crores. They've usurped out 30,000 crores of public money. I mean, all this is going to play out in the election campaigns now, and we will wait and watch how the elections play out.
Shekhar Iyer, your opening comments, and my apologies for coming to you so late. But what do you make of what's happening right now? The AIADMK says this is a non-factor, doesn't matter, he's not a player in the current election scenario. Do you think so, Shekhar Iyer, that this doesn't dent the AIADMK in any way?
I would not think this is a great earth-shaking political event in Tamil Nadu, because he has been meeting Stalin since last August of 2025. That is the first time he met Stalin. And this is the third meeting, and finally he was left with no option. Even a day ago, he was saying that he's not forming a party. And this has come after Chita, after Sasikala said she's floating a party. In fact, she appealed to TTV Dinakaran and OPS to join her. Now, OPS appeal for the DMK or the utility for DMK is very limited, especially in terms of garnering the Mukkulathur vote. Because beyond the Tanjavur Kaveri Delta, DMK is in a weak position as far as that community is concerned.
No, but that's exactly the point, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, that you got this now division, a very clear split. Sasikala with her own party, OPS now joining the DMK. They managed to get TTV Dinakaran on board. But if you look at this very community and the representatives of the Mukkulathur community, you've already got that split.
No, but OPS has stopped being the only representative of that community, because today, if that community is largely represented by TTV Dinakaran. That's why it was very keen that TTV Dinakaran was brought in, and the fact that EPS and TTV Dinakaran have patched up, that's a very politically important. And the other point, Akshita, you see, the problem came because BJP was trying hard to see that OPS is brought back into NDA. But OPS set a condition that he will not, would not be want a part of NDA, but he has to get into the NDA, into the AIADMK. And that consistently EPS, and particularly after EPS even took in TTV Dinakaran, he was very consistent and said no to OPS. So OPS said, I will, because BJP...
No, but will you concede, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, that optics-wise, it's not the best look that someone who was, Jayalalitha's go-to man at every point when she was in a crisis, he'd step up because he was considered to be one of her most loyal aides, is today on the other side?
So those are chronological details when you talk about OPS. But in today, EPS is in full command of the party. That has long been settled. And for OPS, he has been limited to his own circle and to his very close followers and more about his sons and himself. See, that is why even that BJP formula of let him form a party and come in. And by the way, Akshita, he had gone with the same proposal to Stalin, that his party should be included into a DMK alliance. It is Stalin who played it to OPS. He says, no, we don't want your party to come in. We said, you can come in and your supporters, whoever they are, we will try to give them. But they have to contest under DMK symbol. That was made very clear to OPS. And OPS came back disappointed in the second meeting, which was just a week ago. And finally, when he realized that he is getting nowhere, in fact, it is a sign of desperation of OPS. And for EPS is very clear. I mean, this is something, and BJP could not help OPS because OPS was not willing to get into NDA as a separate unit. Rather, he wanted to get into AIADMK. And EPS said, a man who has already said DMK is coming back to power, because OPS said this 6 months ago, that it is DMK who are favorite to win.
Okay, so Apsara Reddy, I see your hand up. So quickly your view before I wrap this up, please.
Yeah, if anything, if you're talking about optics, if anything, it looks really bad and desperate on Mr. OPS's part, because the person he called Amma, which literally means mother, and Tamil Nadu has a large chunk of women voters. Amma was assaulted by DMK on the floor of the house, and he's aligned with the people who assaulted Amma. It's not going to augur well for him or for the DMK.
Okay, I'll just give out a reminder again that in Indian politics particularly, there are no permanent friends or enemies. And I think this is another fitting example of that. Apsara Reddy, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, thank you very much for your time, for joining us here on India Today. O. Paneerselvam, once a top staunch loyalist of Jayalalitha, has now joined the DMK. What's happened over the last many years that's now led to this stunning twist? Remember that he was made the interim chief minister after Jayalalitha's passing. He rebelled against Sashikala. He then went and joined hands with EPS, then was expelled from the AIADMK, and now finally, in the mother of all twists, has joined the DMK.
The Amma legacy splintered into three factions after Jayalalitha's passing. From the Theni heartland, O. Paneerselvam emerged as a key leader. Starting his career in Periyakulam municipality in 1996, he rose to prominence as an MLA from Bodhi Nayakanur in 2001, eventually becoming a three-time interim chief minister and a minister in Jayalalitha's cabinet. With a strong Tevar base, OPS's influence in southern Tamil Nadu. A trusted Jayalalitha confidant, he was handpicked to be CM when she was in legal trouble. But post her demise, while OPS was chief minister again, he faced his biggest test, clearly at the command of VK Sashikala. And then the moment of rebellion. In 2017, OPS staged a dramatic Dharma Yuddham, rebelling against Sashikala at Marina Beach, at Jayalalitha's grave, portraying himself as an Amma loyalist. Twist after twist, finally, OPS joined hands with Edappadi Palaniswamy, becoming the deputy chief minister. but only years later to be expelled from AIADMK in 2022 over a face-off with EPS for the party chief's post. After his expulsion, OPS contested the 2024 Ramanathapuram Lok Sabha elections independently, but didn't win the polls. His symbol, the jackfruit, known as the Palaparam in Tamil, became a signature of his campaign.
நம்பர் வரும் எவ்வளவு நம்பர் சீட் வரும்
39 இடங்கள் இருக்கிறது 39 இடங்களிலும் தேசிய ஜனநாயக கூட்டணி முழுமையான மகத்தான வெற்றி பெறும்
நம்பர் 1 பார்ட்டியா நம்பர் 1 அலையன்ஸ் தமிழ்நாட்டில்
இந்தியாவில் நம்பர் 1 அலையன்ஸ் தமிழ்நாட்டில் நம்பர் 1 அலையன்ஸ்
Now as the 2026 assembly polls approach, OPS has joined the DMK.
எடப்பாடி எந்த காலத்திலும் இனி அரசியலில் வெற்றி பெற முடியாத ஒரு சூழ்நிலையை அதிமுகவுக்கு உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறார். அம்மா அவருடைய மறைவுக்கு பின்னால் லட்சக்கணக்கான அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா முன்னேற்ற கழக தொண்டர்கள் திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தில் தங்களை இணைத்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள் என்று நாடு தளபதி அவர்களை உற்று நோக்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது.
O Pannirselvam may not be a potent electoral force, but the optics definitely damaged the AIADMK. An Amma loyalist to now Stalin ally. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you the latest updates on DMK and Congress's seat-sharing talks. There's been a whole lot of back and forth between the DMK and Congress, and we understand that there is going to be some dialogue that takes place tomorrow in Chennai. The Tamil Nadu Congress in charge, Girish Chorankar, is arriving in Chennai today, and there is going to be a conversation that happens tomorrow. Remember that there has been a lot of friction over power sharing, over seats as well, of how many seats the Congress will get to contest. Will all of these issues be ironed out at a time when Chief Minister Stalin made it very, very clear at India Today's Tamil Nadu roundtable that there is no question of power sharing? Is that something the Congress is okay with? We'll know perhaps tomorrow if there is some progress in seat-sharing talks. Pramod Madhav is joining us live with more details on this. Pramod, does it look like there will be forward movement? There's been a stalemate of sorts between the DMK and Congress, courtesy a whole lot of very public statements from Congress leaders against the alliance.
One thing is very certain, Akshita, what DMK wants to show is that they always have the upper hand when it comes to the India alliance in the state of Tamil Nadu. And that's what we've been seeing so far. And just like you mentioned, in our India Today roundtable, the Chief Minister made it very clear, power sharing is not a concept for the state of Tamil Nadu. It will not suit Tamil Nadu. And he says that we know that, they know that as well. Which means DMK and Congress knows it. Girish Chorankar is expected back in Tamil Nadu, Chennai, by 8:45 p.m. For now, there is a quite possibility for them to call Congress. No, it was expected today itself, but for now, it is expected that tomorrow maybe they can go ahead with the seat sharing talks. It will begin with 25. It has gone all the way up to 45 for Congress. But what is going to be the middle number is only the kind of thing. And it very clearly, there is not going to be any talks of power sharing over here. Only seat sharing, Akshita.
So no power sharing, only seat sharing. The Congress has been also getting rather cozy with Vijay. Is that going to be a factor that leads to the Congress being more bold in their demands? There has been some talk that they want beyond 25 seats this time. Is that something that the DMK will be willing to concede or not? We'll wait and see. Tomorrow, in all likelihood, there will be a conversation on that. Pramod, I'm going to request you to stay with me, because as we stick to stories coming in from Tamil Nadu, another dramatic development that's come in is that actor Vijay's wife, Sangeeta, has filed a petition for divorce seeking to end their 27 years of marriage. Now, normally, this is, of course, an extremely